This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on this Friday night. And my goodness, here we go. You know what? I needed to get that Yes Puljujärvi one out of there because that one's going to do good all weekend. We're going to talk about Yes Puljujärvi all weekend. I know that, so that's why we got it out of the way early. Now, the fun thing here is the fact that the NHL PA, as we're currently waiting on, is discussing that 24-team playoff format. And, well, you know what? There's a couple of good things about it. There's a couple of bad things about it. Make of it what you will. We're that much closer to hockey returning. I think, you know what? No matter what format, asterisk or asterisk not, I don't care. It's hockey, hockey, hockey. That's all that matters. You know what? We had it taken away from us March 12th. At this point, give me any form of it at an NHL level and I'm good, I'm gold, I'm great. Heck, give me provincials for Junior B and I'd probably be sitting there live streaming that stuff because, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, as I said, it's hockey. So, let's get down to it, shall we? Well, 5th seed. That's where they've got us projected. That's kind of the format they've got us in. You've seen everybody else talk about it. I want to talk just from a pure perspective of being an Edmonton Oilers fan, looking at this and an Western Conference opening round of Edmonton versus Chicago, 5 versus 12. We'd play the 4 seed. The 4 seed, well, they're kind of an interesting situation in which in the first round it's between St. Louis, Dallas, Colorado, and Vegas. Those are the top 4 seeds by winning percentage or whatever math they've used to figure that out. I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned straight up is that we're in this playoff round to get into the first round of the playoffs, or what they're calling the first round of the playoffs in a 24-team format, because that's what it would make it a traditional playoff format, is if the Oilers were to advance after a series against the Chicago Blackhawks. Now let me get you these details here because there's a lot to go for it. The play-in series would be a best of 5. The rest of the playoffs would be best of 7. So, Tyson, why should I like this playoff format in which instead of playing Calgary in the opening round, we play, unfortunately, the Chicago Blackhawks? Why should I be a fan of that? You should be a fan of that because no matter what, if it gets the green light, goes ahead, and hockey's played, that is 3 guaranteed hockey games to be played for the Edmonton Oilers in the 2019-2020 NHL season. No matter what, it's guaranteed. Best of 5, you are playing a guaranteed 3 games. Win them, lose them, whatever, guaranteed 3 games. So, that's huge. Problem is, okay, guaranteed 3 games. Well, what happens if you're on the losing end of that? Well, then, you know what, all that happy goodness talk, hockey's back, I'll probably be very sour grapes about it. Let's just be honest. We lose 3 straight games to Chicago and don't even make the first round of the playoffs in a 24-team format after being top 2 in the Western or in the Pacific Division. Woo! I'm going to be fired up. And I've kind of let this one brew all day. I've thought my points through, and man, yeah, no, it comes down to straight up. Guaranteed 3 games is why I'm for it. Losing in 3 games is why I am against it. And unfortunately, right now, with nobody skating to any extreme extent, there is no guarantee that the Edmonton Oilers are going to win this first round matchup against the Chicago Blackhawks. Now that said, I'll just quickly give you a little bit of run of the middle of the Blackhawks season so far. They are a 32, 30, and 8 team. They have lost 38 times when you include overtime and a shootout into the regulation losses. That means for a record of 70 games played, they have 72 points, 30 wins all told. Okay, that's unfortunate for them. Jeremy Colleton, the coach, Captain Jonathan Toews, goals for 212, 18th out of 31st, and then goals against 218. So they're getting their negative goal differential. I know Oilers fans seem to care about that about December, January. 21st out of 30. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go discuss the roster here, shall we? Leading scorer, Patrick Kane, with 33 goals, 51 assists, 84 points. He's having a heck of a year again. Jonathan Toews, 60 points in 70 games playing with Dominic Kubaliak. He's got 46 points. Then you've got Alex DeBrincat at 45. Dylan Strome, who's had a heck of a season. Realistically, I know we've talked a lot about Dylan Strome maybe being on the move out of Chicago. He's had 38 points in 58 games. Not 70, 58. The guy's on pace for a very good season. Brandon Saad, he's at 33 and 58. Duncan Keith, 27 and 61. Alex Nylander, 26 and 65. And then, of course, Eric Gustafsson before he went over to Calgary, which that could really burn Chicago if they go deep into the playoffs, somehow beating the Oilers. 26 points in 59 games played. And you know what? A guy that also a lot of stink's been made for how much ice time he's getting and whatnot. Realistically, the guy's playing 14-16 time on ice per game. At 19 years old, he has 23 points in 64 games played. Does Kirby Dach. Not a bad season at all. And then really it goes down there from there. Connor Murphy, 19 points. Ole Mata, 17 points. And everybody else I really don't care about because it's not that scary. Corey Crawford. Yes, sirree. The goalie, because Robin Lehner is now with Vegas. While Corey Crawford, 39 games started, 16 wins, 20 losses. But my goodness, let me tell you, when he gets hot, he can steal a game. And that's kind of the concern. If Koskinen and Smith tandem doesn't come back hot, oh man, Corey Crawford could be scary. And then, well, you know what? You really never know what you've got in Malcolm Subban. That's kind of, I think, the knock against him. In the time he played with Vegas, nobody really knew what they had in him. He wasn't really that special, but he wasn't really that all bad either. He just kind of paled in comparison to a guy named Marc-Andre Fleury. All right, get it going, shall we? Comes down to it. 5th seed versus 12th seed. You look at the Bob Stauffer tweet about how that's always one of the most interesting matches in the NCAA March Madness tournament. I really don't think that applies here, but it's an interesting note nonetheless, something to keep your head in the game when it comes down to it. But 5th seed versus 12th seed, end of the day, this is a matchup we should have. This is not a matchup we should have to worry too much about this season. This is a matchup we should go out there and just kind of finish off, you know, get into the playoffs and get things underway. We'd play the 4th seed, whoever that is, out of the guys I listed off the top of my head there. But you talk about it, when did we play Chicago the first time? We played Chicago the first time in the 56th game of the season, February 11th. That was a 5-3 win for us. Okay, that's good. And a 4-3 win for the Chicago Blackhawks on March 5th. Okay, all right. You know what? That's it. And I'm missing a matchup somewhere. Just can't seem to see it. Hold on. Very fine print on the computer this evening. Edmonton Oilers. There we go. They won 3-1 on the 14th of October. So, yeah, you know what? Chicago has the series. Has the series in hand. 2-1. But realistically, tight games all around. I'm not too concerned. And realistically, right, it all comes down to who doesn't come out flat. Because in a 5-game series, when it comes down to it, right, underdog versus the expected team who's had a very good season so far, when it comes down to it, I'd be concerned about coming out flat in a 5-game series. And, well, you know what? The Oilers, at times this season, have had a problem with starting games late. And not to say that just continues because we've had a few months off, but even if it doesn't continue and it's still a hangover thing from doing it all season long, yeah, that's kind of a scary situation against the Chicago Blackhawks, who, like I said, have 2 wins out of 3 games against us this year. So there is something to be fearful. But again, all it comes down to, at the end of the day, in this proposed format that's getting voted on tonight by the NHLPA, for me, there's 2 things. One I'm against, one I'm for. The 4 is simply put, ladies and gentlemen, it's 3 guaranteed Edmonton Oilers games in the summer. But in the 2019 season, 2020 season, to wrap it all up, at least give me some closure. That'd be nice. Now, secondarily to that, if my closure is a 3-game sweep loss out of the preliminary round against the Chicago Blackhawks, woo, I'm not going to be impressed. Now, the other interesting part about this is that 4-team top seed, 1 through 4, they apparently have to play against each other as well. Well, my goodness, does that make for an interesting go as well? Because you could end up with St. Louis as the 4th seed, when they've been leading the Western Conference all year. You could end up with Colorado, and unfortunately, well, unless I'm doing something outside with some mics and some really good lighting and making sure the sun ain't all wacky, me and my good buddy Troy that broadcast the Los Angeles Kings game with me, we can't sit on the couch and do it together, so I don't want Colorado. Vegas, oh goodness, that would make for a heck of a series. And then, of course, you would have Dallas, which, please, honestly, Vegas is my only option. Vegas 4 seed confirmed, lock me in, I'm good. I'll set that right there. So, that's everything on the table. As an Edmonton Oilers fan, I boil it down to 2 things. End of story. I don't really care either way. It's playoffs, guaranteed 3 games, whatever. But if we lose, man, I'm going to be upset. Let me know. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I will catch you in the next one. The cat needs to be fed.